Ayo! This is completely impromptu tonight. Nothing necessarily that we know we're going to talk about yet, but there's three of us. We've got Kyla and Chloe. Woo! What's up? All right, so topic. Kyla, go. What's the topic?
Okay, tell us
All
about your day.
right, Chloe, go.
No, Kyla, tell us about your day.
We got an interesting topic right away to talk about. Question. Do you have a question?
Kyla, just tell us about your day.
I had a history test.
What was the history about?
Peasants during the Middle Ages.
Yeah? How'd you do?
I think I did really well. I knew all the answers. I wrote down as much as I could in all the time I had.
I think you did well too. Do you know why? Because I know you prepared for it.
Yeah.
Because I've heard you talk about this a few times. Preparation is key.
Yes.
Always be prepared. When I was a kid, when I was in high school,
Can we go fast like him?
yeah, my car doesn't go that fast, sorry. I hardly ever studied for tests.
That's because you revised every day.
That's right. That's because I was doing a bit of homework every day. So when it came time to have a test, I would look over my notes. It's like, but I know this stuff, so I don't need to study it. And so then I just didn't study it, and then I would get a good grade. And then I would hear about other kids the next day. They're like cramming and up all night studying, and I just never understood why they were studying so much. And it's probably because they weren't preparing regularly. So you gotta prepare. You gotta, yeah. Speaking of which, I'm just starting to study to prepare for board exams. Yeah.
Board exams. Why do you need to take board exams now?
Because you have to. Well, I don't have to now. It's like, well, I still have a few brain cells left. I should probably do it sooner rather than later.
Why?
Sorry, why?
Well,
Back to Canada.
to be able to get a license to practice in Canada. I mean, whether I start practicing 4 years from now or 10 years from now, the sooner I get my license, the better. So, yeah, I wish I would have done it when I was just finished school 20 years ago. That would have been better.
You get it once, even though you're not living in the country, is it always valid?
What's that?
If you get it while you're not living in the country, is it still?
Oh yeah, it's always valid. I just have to keep up continuing education, but I do that anyway, so that's fine. Hey, that's another thing with preparation, continuing education. We have to do a certain number of continuing education hours per year to maintain your license in Canada or the US, and lots of other countries too. But Luxembourg, as far as I understand, is the only country that, at least in Europe and North America, where if a medical doctor never needs a single hour of continuing education ever after they graduate. So if you got your diploma 40 years ago, you've never had to take another hour of continuing education. It's completely crazy because medical science keeps changing all the time. I mean, there's thousands of research studies going on every day. So the idea that you would not need continuing education is completely ridiculous, because you keep learning through research. The profession keeps learning more and more. So it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, a lot of doctors, I'm sure, do continuing education. I'm just saying it's not a requirement, which is kind of crazy. How do you feel about that?
I think it's stupid.
Me too. So that actually makes me think of another guy I know, who you know too, Jean-Luc Mélenchon, and he's a mathematician, and they're doing research in mathematics all the time. What do you think about that, eh? I mean, we already know that 2 + 2 = 4, but there's so much in math and physics and applied math and theoretical math, and it's just crazy. Like there's so much to learn. There's a lot to learn about numbers, and we don't know it all yet. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing research. Because what is research? Do you know what research is?
It's just finding a deeper understanding of something through other people's perspectives and research.
That is true. That's not quite the answer I was going for, but it's completely true. To me, research is asking questions. What do I always tell you guys about asking questions?
Do it.
Yes, do it.
Quality of your life is based on the quality of your questions.
There you go. The quality of life is based on the quality of your questions. Yeah, you gotta ask questions. That's what research is about. It's like, okay, I have a question. If I drop my keys, what happens? It falls. What happens if I drop it again? It falls again. What happens if I drop it again? It falls again. What happens if I compare these keys to a ball? What happens if I compare two different weights of balls? What happens if I do it in a vacuum? Aerodynamics. What's going on here? Rate of gravity. Other forms of resistance like air pressure. Oh my goodness. Crosswinds. All these different things. I mean, all these variables. So you have to ask questions to determine the answers. Always ask questions. Yeah. What did you... Sorry, your history test was today?
Yes.
What else did you have today? 'Cause you had like only like 2 classes today, right?
Or I had
4 classes just in
2
like...
hours of gym,
Okay.
and then I had 1 hour of Spanish, and then history.
Unos, dos, tres, cuatro. What are you doing in gym?
Volleyball.
Volleyball? Were you just playing or do you get taught?
Both.
Or both?
The first hour is like theory, the second hour is playing with groups.
And so when you say theory, is it just...
Like he's showing us how to do it, he's making us practice.
And do you practice the skill as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know how to bump and volley and spike and serve?
Sure.
Do you do overhand serve or underhand serve?
I do underhand.
I can't do either. So.
Are you good at bumping?
I don't know what you mean.
When
by
I
bump.
serve,
That's when you put your arms like this, like that.
No, it's really hit or miss. I either do really well or terribly.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Every time I like hit serve with like you're supposed to hit it with the flat of your wrists.
Not really. It's more like right here.
No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay. I was told to use like the flat of my
Yeah,
wrist.
don't use the wrist.
But the
Don't use
person who
wrist.
told me that, his logic was faulty.
Yeah, it was.
So every time I hit that, I have very blue veins, and like they're very visible, especially on my wrists. And I don't know if that's because like my skin is thin or whatever. But every time I hit it, it felt like it was crushing my freaking like.
Yeah, don't use your
Right.
wrist. I was actually taught
That's
to use the
awesome.
palm of your hand. You have an open hand.
That's a
And you hit it
completely
like that.
different type of serve.
Well, you do that with an overhand because then you can like get a spin on it, and you can do it with an underhand too. Because the harder surface that you have it on, if you do it on the wrist, on the bone, then here's the thing: because there are bones in there, if you can't consistently do it well, one, you're going to hurt the bone, and then on top of that, you're going to be more hit and miss as far as do you have any accuracy to your serve. Right? Whereas you're going to be a lot more consistent if you're using the palm of the hand. Yeah, it's not about doing things hard all the time as it is about doing it correctly, doing it
I
well.
actually hate volleyball. Like,
Do you? I loved volleyball, except I was always sad because volleyball season was in the autumn when I was in high school, and so I played football.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to have played football in the autumn and then do volleyball in the winter. But they had basketball in the winter, and I didn't like basketball
Why didn't you do volleyball then?
because I preferred to do football.
Yeah.
So what did you do during the winter?
In the winter, I ran. We didn't have a team in the winter because track was in the spring, but I would run with. Well, as grade 9, I played hockey actually, I think.
So you had like seasonal sports?
Yeah, so the first few months was football, and then we had basketball. Well, there's usually 2 sports at a time. So autumn was football and volleyball. So you could pick one, and then winter was basketball and swimming. So actually, last couple of years I did swimming. I never had a swimming lesson in my life, but I did swimming anyway, and I was terrible
Oh,
at
that's
it.
right. Because did you not go swimming when you were
You're a
younger
good
though?
I mean, went swimming, but I never had a lesson. Nobody taught me. It's just like they throw you in the water when you're a kid, and
Yeah.
good luck, kid. Right?
I
And
was taught how to swim with little Barbies.
Yeah.
Toys and figures.
but so I did a bit of swimming, but I mean that was just for fun because I always had my hair just
Oh.
out.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'd put it in a ponytail, but I'd never put hat on. I never wore one of those swim hats. I never wore Speedo. I wore my Bermuda shorts, even in races and competitions. I would just wear it because, yeah. And then this spring we had track and soccer and rugby. One year I tried to go play rugby as well, but the rugby coach wouldn't let me because he's like, no, the track coach will get too pissed off with me, so
Why?
they didn't let me. Because I was good at running in high school, and he was afraid that if I tried rugby that I'd get hurt, and then the track coach would be too mad at him. So
That's great.
yeah, that's what it is. So my rugby career lasted like never happened. I stepped on the field and that was it.
He told you to get off.
Yeah.
That's great.
I always wanted to play lacrosse. Kobe's talked recently a little bit about going to start to play in the rugby club, and I was like, oh, if you're not really too much into rugby, then why don't you do lacrosse? Because they've got a team in Luxembourg, and they've only got like one team, and so anybody plays. And I was like, I'll come play lacrosse with you, and then I could be on the same team as Kobe. That would be so fun. That'd be awesome. I'd love to be on the same team as Kobe. They play on Tuesday and Friday nights, and now I'm busy on Tuesday nights with hockey, but I'd play Friday nights. But we'll see. I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's more interested in rugby.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people who do rugby in Luxembourg.
Well, that's why he wants to do rugby, because he has a few friends who do it.
Kobe, he's just gonna get pissed off and start beating someone up on the field.
Yeah, I think that's good for him though.
To beat someone up on the field?
No, wait, I didn't hear you. I think it's good for him to learn.
I mean,
about
he might enjoy
sport.
it, but like...
I mean, I think...
That's a great
I
point.
think that his boxing is great, but I feel like...
What did you say?
His boxing is great, but I feel like it's very violent. I'm not saying that rugby isn't violent.
It is
You know
violent.
what I mean?
Yeah, no, sport is a good thing for boys to do, competitive sports, because men, boys, whatever, girls too, right? People, right? Because the thing is it's a great way to get out some of your physicality, some of your aggression, but you learn how to do it in a controlled way. When you can do it, when you can't. What's appropriate and what's not appropriate, right? You learn control, you learn discipline.
Guys generally are more aggressive.
Yeah, and if you don't actually have a proper outlet for that,
They are more aggressive.
then you might let it out improperly, right? So I think it's really important. I think it's really good. I think you learn so much. I think it's so good for you physically and mentally, but also you end up learning as well. And learning how to control yourself, learning how to control your anger, learning how to control your rage against the machine. Arr!
My arm stopped working today in volleyball.
Really? That sucks. You want things to work.
No, it's my shoulder again. You know? Okay.
Okay, so I'll check it when we get this time.
So sometimes if I put too much, I'm right-handed, but sometimes, and I injured my left shoulder. I mean, my right shoulder. And sometimes if I'm holding too much weight in it, it'll give out. And then I have to like switch weight or something. Because
You should
like
do
my
bear
arm
walking.
can't take it.
After I get you adjusted, you should do some bear walking. It learns to strengthen
And
it.
then like it just starts like hurting all over the shoulder, and then it like travels down to my elbow,
I'm
and
going to
then
show you
like to
some
my
exercises.
wrist, and then I can't hold or put or weight, and I don't, because of what I did, I can't move it above there because I was playing volleyball, and it like clicks out. Like I feel the bone rubbing against each other and clicking out every time I raise it above there.
We're gonna have to fix you up.
Grab her shoulders.
But that's in both
quick,
my shoulders.
just one quick second.
No, I injured.
Here's the old Chinese restaurant. It's gonna be an Indian restaurant now. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
I injured both my shoulders, but this one is the only one that's ever caused me pain.
Mm-hmm.
The right one is only ever caused me pain. This one just clicks in and out. It doesn't have as much strength as before, but this one is what actually gives me problems.
Fix you up. Fix you up. All right. We are almost here. We are almost here. All right. Any last little parting words?
Get checked out by a chiropractor if you have problems like mine.
Yeah. And then exercise it.
Yes.
Keep good. It's hardware and software. That's what I tell people. I fix the hardware, you fix the software. You gotta do them both.
Doing it once won't fix it.
Right? You gotta do both. You gotta do hardware and software. You have to work the muscles. You have to move. You have to exercise. You have to strengthen. But all the parts also have to work well. So I get them working properly, but then they have to keep it moving and keep strengthening it. And the combination is the best way to do it. All right, we are at the pizza place. Pizza. All right. So here we go. Hey, oh, not y'all. Ciao. Bye.